Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and on this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll be going over all of the day's movie news, as well as going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's Hot Topics. And our first story today is about the upcoming X-Men Apocalypse. Now, a lot of new information has come out over the past few days about this upcoming film. It will be a direct sequel to X-Men Days of Future Past. It will be focusing more so on the first-class cast than it will be on the original cast, although we still don't have concrete details as to how much of the original cast will be coming back, because they did say that some of them would be. We know that Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, is coming back. But outside of that, we don't have any other concrete information in terms of the original cast. Outside of that, we do have a good logline for the film now. Up until this point, it has been speculated that Bryan Singer would be returning to direct it, because he came back to direct X-Men Days of Future Past. He also directed X-Men 1 and 2. Now, due to his legal turmoil that he's been having over the past few months, it was kind of up in the air as to whether or not he would return. And I've been stating since this first was revealed that this is a complete hoax. This is complete bogus bullcrap. Mainly due to the fact that, hey, you know, it was 17 years later. It was like a month and a half before X-Men Days of Future Past was releasing, which was getting it more attention. And also, he filed the same suit with like 4 or 5 other people in Hollywood, and then he supposedly dropped them. So, I mean, I never for once believed that that was true. But it was still up in the air as to whether or not Bryan Singer would return. Well, it looks like all of those worries have been curbed, because now Bryan Singer has officially signed on to direct X-Men Apocalypse, which I'm very happy about, because he stated a while ago, same with Simon Kinberg, that they're going for more of a disaster film feel with this movie. They're going to do the biggest scale, the largest set pieces that we've seen in an X-Men film to date. Because of the villain that they have, it now warrants that. This is the apocalypse. He will be bringing along the 4 horsemen and will be causing just unknown devastation across the globe. So this is really going to be a unique X-Men film, because we haven't seen anything of this scale yet. But one of the biggest things that came out was the actual plot synopsis for the film. Now, it's still a little vague. It kind of touches on things that we already know, but it really does reaffirm certain other things. So this is basically what it is. It's set 10 years after Days of Future Past. The timeline altering has caused Apocalypse to return. Charles, Eric, Mystique, Wolverine, and Beast are joined by a young Storm, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and others to fight their most formidable foe yet, an ancient, unrelenting force determined to cause an apocalypse unlike any in human history. So that is the official logline for the film. And when they say they talk about others, there's rumors that both Gambit and Nightcrawler will be appearing in this film. If they do Gambit, and Laura Schuler Donner, the producer of all the X-Men films, has come out. She's been the one who's championing Channing Tatum to play the role. She's the one who said that, you know, he's cast. It's just we're waiting on the negotiations. She said that he might be likely to appear in X-Men Apocalypse as a way to, you know, siege into his solo film. So whether or not we do see him in this movie or not is unknown. If they do put him in that movie, that means that Gambit will be an 80s character. Unless they're going to be bookending the movie. If they're going to be doing kind of what they did in Days of Future Past, where they have the beginning and the end of the movie set in modern times, or in the Days of Future Past exception was in the future. But if they have it set now, like in the now of the Days of Future Past timeline, then they could have Gambit there, and that would free him up to be a part of the other franchises going on down the line. Because if they continue on with with the First Class cast right now, we are pretty certain that the next film after Apocalypse, if they continue on with them, will be set in the 90s, and they're just going to keep doing that. They're going to keep going about 5 to 10 years each time, sometimes maybe even larger, but. You know, I mean, it all depends on how they handle it, because if they put Gambit in there, it does pigeonhole him into that timeline, but they could still do it right. And I'm really excited to see what Channing Tatum is able to do with this role, because of what he has been able to do in other films, especially Foxcatcher, which I'm very, very much anticipating to see. I cannot wait for that film. Just everything that I've been hearing about it, the powerhouse performances in that movie alone are going to be enough to drive everybody in there. So I'm really excited to see that. The biggest thing to me that I'm excited about, though, is seeing what we can get from the younger characters, specifically from Cyclops. because I feel that Cyclops was underutilized, and even Bryan Singer has come out and said that they didn't use him the way that they wanted to. His original plan was to not redo, but just do the character justice in his version of X-Men 3. When Bryan Singer was originally involved in X-Men 3, he had James Marsden signed on. Everybody was going to be coming back. He was going to be reinvigorating the character of Cyclops, and then we all know what happened with that. He went off to Warner Brothers to do Superman. Fox kind of, felt shunned, and so they said, well, we're going to get our X-Men 3 out before your Superman film, and we all know how that ended up, but still, I digress. As it stands right now, X-Men Apocalypse is set for a May 18th, 2016 release date. With the movie coming out in just over a year and a half, expect to hear a lot more information coming up about the film, because it will be starting to shoot probably in... I don't even think they're going to wait till spring. I think they're going to start shooting in the winter, probably in February. They may have even said that they're planning on starting to shoot in April. It's probably going to be earlier than that, but they are going to be returning to Montreal, where they shot Days of Future Past. So be on the lookout for more information. If we do get more information about this topic, though, I will definitely update you guys on here. We have a brand new trailer for the upcoming Kingsman: The Secret Service, which is Matthew Vaughn's next film. Now, for those of you unaware of who Matthew Vaughn is, he is the director who brought us such films as Kick-Ass, the first one. He brought us X-Men: Days of Future Past. He brought us Layer Cake, which is one of the most underrated films of all time. If anybody who hasn't seen Layer Cake, it's one of Daniel Craig's first films. And it's just incredible. I mean, Matthew Vaughn was kind of the apprentice to Guy Ritchie back when Guy Ritchie was doing... He was his producer, I believe. And he was involved with Lock, Stock. He was involved with Snatch. I believe, unfortunately, he was involved with Swept Away, although I haven't confirmed that. But yeah, he started under Guy Ritchie, and you can really feel Guy Ritchie's influence on him, especially with his films. But more so than that, in this trailer, you really see Guy Ritchie's influence because of all the cool, unique ways of shooting the sequences, the way the camera moves, all that kind of stuff. The energy in this trailer is incredible. But I think the standout of it is Colin Firth. I don't think a lot of us anticipated Colin Firth being such a badass. I mean, the trailer is, or the link for the trailer is in the description below. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, check it out. But this looks badass. I mean, he does not appear as though he could kick anyone's ass, and yet he kicks everyone's ass in this trailer. Just the everything about it. The henchman to Samuel Jackson's villain with the bionic legs that almost look like knives. Like, just seeing her bounce around and slicing people and doing all that. It was just... It looks like it's going to be so much fun. And it's another Mark Millar graphic novel, very much like what he did with Kick-Ass. I really do think that he's going to hit the nail on the head with this one as well, because he hasn't really done a film that has been bad. He's done a film that is underwhelmed, absolutely. I think Stardust is probably his biggest underwhelming movie. It was still a really entertaining film, but it just didn't do very well. But that being said, this looks absolutely cool. Like, I don't know any other word other than cool to describe this trailer. You get all the really cool James Bond gadgets and stuff like that. This trailer really does emphasize that Colin Firth is more so the main character in the movie as opposed to Eggsy, as he's called in the trailer. But it just... I just can't get over how much fun it looks. The one thing that I will say about the trailer that I didn't like is Samuel L. Jackson. I feel that Samuel L. Jackson's starting to become really oversaturated now. I mean, there was a time where he was popping up in everything, but these weren't really key roles for the most part. They were little roles here and there, outside of his Marvel duties, obviously. But when you see him in this trailer, he just seems out of place. And I don't know, maybe it's just because they're holding back on the content that they're going to be showing for him. Maybe we're going to get a Red Band trailer, because you could tell in this trailer that this is going to be rated R. Not just because of the violence, but because of the swearing that they've cut. So, I mean, he says, "Do I look like I give up?" And then it cuts to another shot. And you can even see certain words they've removed when people are talking. So you can tell this movie's going to be rated R, which means we're going to be getting hardcore action. We're going to be getting a lot of swearing. The action just looks so stylized. I'm really looking forward to it. The one contention that a lot of people have been saying is that, they pushed it from October to February, and that spells doom for the movie. In this case, I don't think so. I think this is the studio actually looking at a spot where there's not a lot of competition. The only movie that it's opening against is 50 Shades of Grey, which will be counter programming, because you're gonna get all the girls dragging their husbands and their fiancés and their boyfriends out to see 50 Shades of Grey. Well, the boyfriends are gonna have to sit through that, and then they're gonna demand to go and see something like Kingsman, because Kingsman just looks like it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. It looks like it's gonna be really energetic. I have a feeling this is gonna get great reviews. It's got a great supporting cast as well. You got people like Mark Strong, you got Michael Caine, you got Mark Hamill is in the movie. I mean, the supporting cast in this movie just looks like it's going to be great. And overall, it just looks like it's going to be a really fun, really energetic movie. I'm very much excited for it. Like I said earlier, it comes out February 13th, 2015. So 2 years in a row, I'm getting a really cool birthday gift. I'm getting Kingsman: The Secret Service, and then the following year, I'm getting Deadpool. This is going to be great. But anyway, the movie opens up February 13th, 2015. If we get more information about this topic or anything else before it's released, I will definitely update you guys on here. With this next topic, we have our first Red Band trailer for the interview. Wow is all I can say. Wow. This, to me, if this movie does not have to get cut down, this will be pushing the limits of rated R. Just from the little glimpses that we get in this trailer, I mean, the raunchiness of this movie looks like it's going to be off the wall. And you can tell, especially considering this is the same guys who brought us This Is the End. There's a lot of stuff that they're withholding. They are not giving us everything in the trailer. But oh my god, did I laugh out loud through the entire thing. If I had not have seen This Is the End, this trailer would not have done anything for me, I don't think. Mainly because of, if you go and watch the trailers for This Is the End, yeah, it looked like it was going to be okay. It looked like it was, just serviceable R-rated comedy, whatever. Then you watch the movie. And it was the funniest movie of last year, by and large. I mean, I have not laughed as hard at a movie, I think, since I saw American Pie 2. That's how funny this movie was. And what they are doing with the interview and all the everything happening in the background, everything happening with North Korea in real life. This movie, check it out. The link is in the description, or the description isn't. The link for the trailer is in the description below. I don't know why it took me so long to get that out. But anyway, the link for the trailer is in the description below. Check it out. It is absolutely hilarious. James Franco, that's the one thing about this. There are some sequences in the trailer where James Franco looks like he's going a little too far. Maybe either he just does not find it funny himself, or he's on something while they're filming, which would be very likely. But yeah, like there are some moments in the trailer that I felt like, one or two shots, I think, where I was just like, but we don't know the context of how they play out. It might play out a lot better if we understand what's happening in the rest of the scene. But oh my god, this looks absolutely hilarious. Surprisingly enough, the movie's going to be opening up on Christmas Day. I'm not going to talk about the trailer anymore, other than just go and check it out. Yeah, you just got to go and check it out. Words don't compare to what this trailer will do when people see it. So definitely go and check out the trailer in the description below. I'm definitely anticipating this film. If this is a hit, Rogen and Goldberg. Yeah, Adam Goldberg. Seth Rogen and Adam Goldberg are going to be another Phil Lord and Chris Miller, but more raunchy. I just think these guys are bound for success if this movie really does hit home, which I do think it will. It's got a lot of the sensibilities that This Is the End had. So I'm really excited about this. But go and check out the trailer. The link is in the description below. And just make sure that you're not at work or anything like that, because this is definitely not work related. This is NSFW. So be on the lookout for that. But oh my god, this trailer is so funny. If we get more information about this movie before it comes out, though, I will definitely update you guys on here. This next topic here is about the upcoming biopic about Edward Snowden. Now, for those of you who don't know who Edward Snowden is, he is the man who is responsible for leaking all of those classified documents onto the internet back in 2012. A lot of people have associated him with Julian Assange, the creator of WikiLeaks, and he has been seen with him several times in video interviews and all this kind of stuff. Julian Assange is basically just kind of helping protect him and just understanding exactly what it was that he was doing. He was seeing, I'm not saying that I condone what he did, but basically what is happening is that he sees the release of this information as a good thing. He sees the secrecy that was going on within the government was working against what basically the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, all this stuff basically guaranteed everybody. And so he felt that, releasing this information was the right thing to do because people need to know the type of government that they are electing and that they are trying to support. And so that's why Julian Assange has been kind of a part of his life for the past couple of years. Well, it looks like we're going to be getting a biopic of this film from none other than Oliver Stone. Now, Oliver Stone is one of my favorite directors out there. My favorite film of all time is JFK. And I do feel that, because a lot of people have been talking about this movie and saying, I like the idea of the project, but I don't like the idea of Oliver Stone being a part of it. And I have to disagree with that. I understand where those complaints are coming from, absolutely, because he has not had that great of a filmography as of late. We have everything from Alexander to W to Wall Street 2, which was, that was just Shia away now. Anyway, he has not had, I kind of enjoyed World Trade Center, but that to me was just kind of like, he just wanted to make a film. When World Trade Center was being made, he was gearing up to do another movie called Pinkland. And Pinkland was going to be another Vietnam War movie. It was going to have Channing Tatum and Bruce Willis and a couple of other people involved in it. And so he was gearing up to do that movie while shooting World Trade Center. So his mind was in another film altogether. He wasn't really there. And then the whole financial crisis happened. The writer's strike happened. All this kind of stuff. That caused a lot of movies to halt. And Pinkland was one of those movies that was basically scrapped. That's going to be a topic for another show that I'm going to be developing in the next couple of weeks or maybe a month or two about films that never were. So keep an eye out for that. But I think that this is the perfect film for someone like Oliver Stone to return to get back into his form. Because again, like I said, my personal favorite film of his is JFK. I do think that is his best overall film. That and Born on the 4th of July are those are my two favorite films of his. And so I really do think that he fits at home in conspiracy theories, in areas where he really does have several little plot points and storylines going on all at once, but they're all tying together into the same thing. And I really do think that he can do that with the Edward Snowden biopic that he's doing. But recently, just the other day, it was revealed that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has been approached to play the role of Edward Snowden. And I do believe that he wants to play the role. Now it's all just about negotiations and what they can do, whether or not it fits into his schedule, whether or not they can come up with the right price for him to play the role. But I think that's an inspired choice. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a hell of an actor. And I really do think that this is going to be the type of role where you need someone who, A, is a phenomenal actor, B, has enough clout to get away with a role like this. Because this is the type of role where if you are an unknown, this could completely kill your career. Depending on how it's handled, especially with Oliver Stone directing, because Oliver Stone does not have the same clout that he used to. But this is the type of topic that I think will return Oliver Stone to the heights that he used to be in. I mean, Oliver Stone is the man who wrote Scarface. He directed Platoon. He directed the original Wall Street. He did, like I said before, JFK, Born on the 4th of July. He did U-Turn. He's done all of these fascinating movies that are hard-hitting. They have, actual points to make. They're not just there for entertainment value. They actually have a message in them, and that's what I want him to return to. Because I do think that this is the type of story that needs to be told. This is the type of movie that needs to be done. And the Fifth Estate, which was a movie that Benedict Cumberbatch did last year about Julian Assange. Personally, I feel outside of his performance, the movie was lackluster. He was really good in the movie, but this is something that is so new to our culture that it needs to be represented properly in the media in terms of what it's doing to our culture. And I don't think that Wiki or the Fifth Estate was able to do that. Under the tutelage of someone like Oliver Stone, having somebody like Joseph Gordon-Levitt lead the charge, I really do think this is the first movie that can come out that can really hit hard with this new cultural renaissance that we are in, which is the social media wave, where everything is like your privacy is basically gone. How nobody has those freedoms anymore, the same freedoms that they thought, and that's what this story is going to be about. It's going to be about the reasoning behind why he leaked it and the aftermath about him trying to find sanctuary. I mean, he lived in airports for months because no country, he wouldn't be able to get the right IDs in order to get into the country. Other countries have extradition rights with the United States, so as soon as he gets out of the airport, he would immediately be arrested and they would take him back. So this is just a fascinating story. I'm very excited to see what they're able to do with this, especially if Oliver Stone is able to make the type of film that he used to make, not one of the ones that he's currently making now. So with that being said, there is no firm release date or anything like this. Oliver Stone does like to shoot his movies rather quick and release them rather quick because he's not that big into special effects. He uses them when he absolutely has to, but he's not like Martin Scorsese, where Martin Scorsese will shoot a CG scene just to shoot a CG scene because he wants to get these specific elements in the shot, and if he cannot create it in real life, he will create it in the computer. I mean, watch. There's a thing on YouTube that you can find somewhere about The Wolf of Wall Street. It's probably even on the DVD as well. But it just goes to show the amount of CGI that was in that movie. It's incredible. Some scenes you'll understand. You'll get, okay, yeah, no, that was CGI. Other ones, you just go like, why did they need to do that? But it was because he wanted to get all of those elements in the same shot. Oliver Stone is the exact opposite, where he cares about the mood, the atmosphere, and the performances. Everything else is... he can do with it or he can do without it. I mean, that's the way that he is. And it's a great way to look at it because your main focus is supposed to be on the actor. It's not supposed to be on everything else in the sequence. It's supposed to be on that person. So that's what Oliver Stone really does succeed at. And I'm very much excited about this film, seeing what he could do, especially directing somebody like the caliber of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I really am excited about this movie. When we get more information about this, any concrete details at all involving the shooting schedule, the release schedule, whatever the case is, I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click the subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You can get updates whenever we post a new video. You can also follow me on Twitter at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also give us a like on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Movie News with Niklsun. You guys can ask any questions or start a discussion on our Facebook page. You can also put a comment in the comment section here, and it will be answered on every Friday episode if there is a question. So, without any further ado, this has been Niklsun, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.